Hey everyone, you're here with Mark on Perfect Gardens TV. So I got another great question from Adam Wall. He's one of my VIP clients. He is an incredible human being. I highly recommend for you to go check out his channel. He does have a disability. He speaks a little bit slow, but he is incredibly motivational. And yeah, I'll make sure to include his link down in the description. But he asked me a question. If one of your plants HERMIE, what do you do about it? Like, how do you fix the environment so that when you put new plants in there, they don't also produce seeds? So if your plant's HERMIE, that means that they have male parts and female parts. So if you're new to the channel or new to growing, a male plant will produce pulse sacs basically, and it will produce pollen that will then, if it goes over to a female plant that produces flowers, it will then produce seeds. And that's how the normal cycle works, right? Male produces pollen, females produce flowers, and if they combine together, they'll produce seeds. For various situations, you can also have a plant called a hermaphrodite plant. We call them Hermes. In that situation, they'll produce female and male parts, and they will self-pollinate each other. Well, you don't really see them a lot of the times because they're undeveloped seeds, right? They're not totally mature, and it's not until you get into the flower do you begin to see the seeds themselves. In those situations, if you see that, you have to go back into your grow room and completely wipe down everything. Sterilize, kill, wipe down, clean, whatever you want to call it. You got to get in there and every nook and cranny that where pollen could have basically fallen onto. And you're going to have to give a really good wash. You're really going to have to just scrub everything. Your fans, you're going to want to get some type of cleaning agent, hydroperoxide, something along those lines. You're going to want to spray it into your ventilation system so it goes in there and sterilizes everything and hopefully clean everything. You're going to want to just wipe down the walls, all the cracks. You're going to want to wash your pots. You're going to want to clean everything off because that pollen, if it is on your walls and you turn your fans back on and they begin to circulate again, there is a chance that your new crop will produce seeds again. And then at times, a lot of people will think that their plants hermit again, when in fact it's just your previous crop that actually seeded your new crop. This is incredibly important for commercial grow rooms as well. I don't think they realize when they get one hermaphrodite plant in their entire operation, they need to start making necessary steps to clean out their grow room. And in a lot of situations, when the larger the grow room, you can't just shut down operations. So how do you do that, right? You're going to have your employees or yourself start cleaning off sections of your grow rooms, not just once, but probably every week to 2 weeks, you're going to be wiping down the entire grow room, right? And then you're going to have them do it again and again and again for at least an entire grow cycle until you get to the next crop and see if there is any plants that seeded again. And if it did, it means that there's still pollen circulating. So an additional decent idea too would be just making sure you get that pollen wet. If you miss it while wiping the surfaces, the water and the pollen, when it dries back off, it will adhere to the surface slightly and it'll be less likely to circulate around. Getting it wet and wiping the surface is the ideal number one step. Second step is you just getting it wet. Even if you miss it while wiping it, when it begins to dry off, it will slightly adhere to the surface, just like dirt on a car, right? You put dirt on a car when it's slightly wet, the dirt becomes very difficult to take off. Same situation with pollen. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful on handling these steps, whether you're a small grower or large commercial grower, and various ideas to reduce the stress so you can bring in the next crop. Have a great grow, everyone.